Good afternoon, teammates. Hope all is well. Hey, this is DP, your regional vice president in Primerica. Hey, just wanted to say, hey, welcome back. I guess a couple things I want to talk to you today about is more importantly, I want to talk to you a little bit about the sense of urgency and really talk about activity. Activity being how many appointments you really should be going on a week-to-week basis. Hopefully right now or by now that you've actually gotten your license, you're now learning really how to become very competitive in this business. Because one of the things I was told early on in the business when I was coming up in the base shop, under the awesome RVP Tad Repa, one of the things I learned is that how to really become competitive very early on. And it wasn't just something that I mostly, just desired to do on my own. I learned it because one of the things I know in Primerica is that you got to always have a sense of urgency. Either your butt is burning to get somewhere, or your butt is burning from coming from somewhere. So, week to week, 52 weeks in a year, Primerica is a very, very competitive business, and it stays very competitive, and it'll give you what you want if you fight like crazy to do the things that you need to do. And oftentimes, unfortunately, a lot of people come through the business and they essentially just drift, meaning they become great meeting attenders. They become great, they'll attend like the open house. They do all the regimens, but they don't fill in any gaps in between. They think that just by becoming a great meeting attender and doing those little things, that all of a sudden something's going to happen, that it's going to be given to them, or God's just going to drop something down and say, hey, great job, thy good and faithful servant. You've been attentive, so here's what I'm going to give you. Well, he could very well do that, but most people, it's just not going to happen. You're going to have to work hard for it, because too much is given, much is required. Faith without works is very dead. And you have to get in a competitive state where week in, week out, you got to fight this thing like it's your life. I was told early on is that if I fight, the first 3 years, I could become a regional vice president. I can earn a six-figure income. I could change my life. I can evolve and do a lot of different things. And man, that first 3 to 5 years was a life changer for me. Now, of course, I'm, still have growth left. Still have SVP contract, still have NSD, SNSD contract to work out. But along the way, there are some basics that you should have been able to accomplish. So, it's not about where you're at, it's where you're going. You can't stay stuck in the same place. You have to grow to the next level. So you have to be challenged and inspired by going to the next level. And along the way, those are some things that are really going to help you as far as getting to the next level. So a couple things I want to talk about in particular is really the activity, the competitiveness in this business. That is really, really essential. And I was told early on the importance of 8531. I remember in my office, there used to be a big board up, and it would have all the licensed agents, and it would show like week to week where we were at. It was just very competitive. You walk in, your name was there, boom. It was just pretty much there in your face. So if I had a new guest coming in and they would look, they would clearly see whether or not I was a weenie, or if I was somebody who was, really on it. So I really wanted to be on it, because I wanted, when people walked in, man, you see my name on the board, you see me very competitive, you see me in a place where I'm getting it going. So every week I fought like crazy really to get on appointments. So I was told early on to really master this. And you said, man, what's that? 8531. That's right. That's like the Primerica gospel, 8531. So I knew week in, week out, in order to get what I wanted to get, I was going to have to do and become some of the things that I wasn't accustomed to. I had to change, not outwardly, but I had to change inwardly. I had to put myself in an uncomfortable environment, situation where I was always going on appointments, because all the goodies come to those who build a big base shop, who get on consistently a lot of appointments on a week in, week out basis. if you're just going on one appointment every 2 weeks or one a week, you're just not going to become something successful in Primerica. You're just not. So I just knew, I said, man, I had to really learn this concept. I had to master what is 8531. And I knew if I could do it in a week basis, or if I could do at least 2 cycles of that a month, I was going to probably beat most people. So 8531 being, well, what's the 8? 8 appointments. I knew that, hey, I had to be on 8 appointments. So I had to be kneecap to kneecap, eyeball to eyeball with 8 people on a week-to-week basis. So I had to learn the 50% rule in this business, which means that, if you set up appointments, if you got 8 appointments lined up for the week, you're not going to go on 8. You're probably going to go on half, because half of them reschedule. That's just a norm. I learned that. So 8531 just basically meant that to get on 8 appointments, I had to have 16 set, of which half would reschedule. So that meant I went on 8 appointments. So that 8 starts with going on or seeing the 8. So I had to have enough appointments lined up. And the great thing is, those appointments are just not you personally. It's not just you personally doing it. You could essentially recruit a brand new person in the business tomorrow, or recruit 2 or 3 people this week. And between the two, sure, you can get 4 out of 3 appointments. You can get 8 appointments each. That's 24 appointments just off of 3 people. What if half rescheduled? That still leaves you with 12 appointments that you can get on. You could change your life very, very quickly in this business if you got very laser focused on getting on appointments. So 8531, 8 appointments that I was going to get on. 5 are interested. Okay. Well, that meant 3 people from the 8. I meant 3 of them wasn't interested. Why weren't they interested? I don't know. That's just the way it is. You got to learn that in this business. That's just the way it is. 5 were interested, and from the 5, that meant that 3 are actually going to become clients. So from the 5, 3 are becoming clients. That just meant that there was another 2, for whatever reason, they didn't work out. Maybe they didn't qualify for the program. Maybe they applied, something didn't happen. Maybe they changed their mind. Maybe you made an appointment initially, you didn't get back. It's just the way it is. So 3 became clients, and then as a result, I had 1 left that was going to become a recruit. So those ratios are really, really great. 8531, I learned that. So that meant if I went on 8 appointments, that meant 5 are interested. So that's like a 60-70% right there in this business that are interested in what we do. I knew that, from 5 that are interested, 3 are going to become clients, and then 1 is going to become a recruit. So that just meant that the numbers are the numbers. 70-80% of your people that you sit down with, if you just have a basic understanding or a basic closing ratio, you can present the presentation, you can learn how to overcome some basic objections. It just meant 60-70% of the time, you're going to have people go ahead. They're going to want to become clients. That's not hard. And then looking at the 1, that just meant that this 1 out of 4 people you basically are in front of talking about the business, 1 out of 4 are going to be very, very interested. So you say, hey, Derrick, I haven't recruited anybody this month. It's because you only talked to 1 person. You haven't talked to enough people in order to make this happen. So if you learn the ratios and you start talking to more people, man, Primerica becomes very, very simple. So 8531 works very, very succinct in the sense that 8 appointments, 5 are interested, 3 become clients, 1 recruit. Not a hard process. So just imagine if you did 2 cycles of that a month. So think of it, 2 cycles. That just meant you had 16 people. You just said, hey, look, you know what? I'm part-time. 16 people I saw. From 16, a portion of them were interested. 3 clients, so that's 6 clients, and that's 2 recruits. You imagine if you do 6 clients and 2 recruits on a month in, month out basis, you're dusting in Primerica. You're doing great. Because if you're part-time, you're doing two sales. I'm sorry, 6 sales, two recruits on a month-to-month basis. Within the next 60 to 90 days, you will have something very incredible take place in your business. You have a thing called an explosion. You'll start attracting more people. Things will begin to evolve in this business. You begin to look up. You have a lot of people who are just like you, and you're talking to them about 8531. Next thing you know, your business is beginning to unfold. If you do this, guys, for the next year, that will mean at that pace, sooner or later, you're going to be doing what we call double-digit recruiting. You're going to have at least 10 people come onto your team, 10 or more, and that's when the business begins to explode. So if you're recruiting over 120 people in a year's time, you're either on your way to becoming a regional vice president or you are a regional vice president. No question. If you put over 120 people through the system on your way to a regional vice president, you're going to have some things really begin to evolve. But that's not, that's just the minimums as far as really getting to the next level. But you got to minimally be double-digit recruiting in order for that to happen. Minimally, you got to build a team and get to a point where yourself and maybe 2 or 3 other people can collectively go recruit 10 or more on a month in, month out basis. It's not hard. You just have to be able to put in the work initially and knowing what the numbers are in order to go do that. And the great people who really do that, they have sustainability. They do that over a period of time. They don't just do it in 1 month. They do it multiple months, month in, month out. You have to be very, very consistent at that. So when you come into our office, there's a couple things that, when I used to come into the office and I was very competitive, I showed up, for open house. The trainings were like non-negotiable for me. But let's face it, we don't get paid for trainings. Trainings are just a part of the process. So if someone's not coming to the trainings, you were nowhere, you're not even considered in the game because you're just missing so much stuff. And as a result, I knew of coming to the trainings, I knew the trainings were very, very competitive in the sense that I understood that I was going to build the business in the office because that's where you have recruits, you have new people, you have your other teammates there. So the questions that always popped up in the office was this: where are you at? Where are you at? So that should be a big, primary question that's asked. Where are you at? Zeros? Oh my God. We should do contests at month end where we would have pies thrown in your face, pie face contests. People nowadays are much, much too soft. I mean, they can't handle some of those things. Some of the other offices, I know around it, they still do things like that. I mean, but when people, toughen up, they evolve in the business, they become very competitive. They aim and grow towards financial independence. They understand that and they love that. So big thing you got to get down is, hey, where are you at? Where are you at? 0 recruits, 0 life apps. Oh my God. I was sick. So I knew month in, month out, if my week began like most people, where I knew that you do a training on Saturday, usually at the end of training every Saturday, I would set my appointments. If I had a lot of appointments already set up and established for the following week, then, hey, maybe I left out of training a little bit early. I just said, hey, look, I feel good. I can move to the next level. I got 8 appointments already lined up for the week, or I got 10 appointments. I felt good because I knew on Sunday I usually did a refresher or something with my teammates to kind of make calls to get the week set up. And but if I didn't have any appointments lined up, I was suicidal. I was like, oh my God, my family's going to starve. I'm not going to hit my goals and dreams. What am I here for? No appointments on a week-to-week basis. And sometimes people walk around like that's just like, okay. I'm just like, no way. I mean, you have to correct that. You came in, this is prime America. Prime America. It's not prime America. Prime America is just those people who just kind of hang out. It's a social club. They're here for other reasons. But man, if you're part of Prime America, man, you wear that proudly. You have a badge underneath your shirt, man, just on your heart that just says, man, I'm built for speed, really made of something, man. I'm here to cut it and do something great in my life, and I'm going to take this to another level. So where you're at is such an essential thing. So the question that you need to be asking and addressing on a week-to-week basis is this: how many appointments do you have set, and how many appointments that have kept? That's really the simplicity of the system. How many appointments do you have set? and how many kept, for the week. That's really that. If you learn those things, you get that down really quick early on, then you understand that Primerica is a moving clock. You look up, man, it's like, wow, a year has gone by, 2 years have gone by, 3 years have gone by. The life is so short. It can move so fast and so much time wasted. But if you keep in perspective in terms of where you want to go, how fast you want to get there, Primerica can allow you to accomplish your goals and dreams. So I want to talk to you, today, like I said, about 8531, and I just know that if you get those things down and you learn how to become very, very competitive, you stay laser focused for a couple of years, you can change your life here. You can do something incredible. You can go make a six-figure income. Or if that's not your goal, you can make an extra, $1,000, $2,000 a month working this business, on a part-time basis. But the thing that's going to always evolve is 8531. You got to get that down. You got to say how many appointments I got lined up on a week-to-week basis. I got to understand, if I didn't see anybody this week, I really didn't do anything great. So you got to get that down. You got to really get to the next step. And that really comes through having a lot of appointments and really getting totally focused about seeing people and doing what you need to do. And watch out for your Primerica business. It will really begin to shine. It'll take off. It'll move to the next level. And great things will begin to evolve in your life. So, guys, that's all I got today. Really want to thank you for being attentive to this clip. And I'll talk to you soon. God bless.